Thompson, and I'm going to tell you why I should be the next president of the United States. Alright? I'm going to save, with one simple idea, I'm going to save America from the dependency on foreign oil. I'm going to save America from polluting the environment. I'm going to boost our economy and save Americans $1,000 every year. How am I going to do this? Easy. Everyone should ride motorcycles. They're cheap, they're inexpensive, they get great gas mileage, they're great for urban environments, which are increasing every day in America, and there's a great camaraderie while riding motorcycles. So that's what my speech is going to be about, on the cost, on the advantages, and the riding experience while riding motorcycles. The most direct advantage of riding a motorcycle would be the cost savings. That's not necessarily the why everyone gets into it, but it's an added bonus. So just a few statistics. You can drive just a regular high mileage car, the Honda Civic. It gets 30 miles per gallon, which is really good for today's standards, but it's going to set you back about 20 grand. Alright, if you want to go with maybe the hybrid option, okay, you can get the hybrid Honda Civic. Okay, that's going to get you 43 miles per gallon, which is pretty good, but it's going to set you back $25,000. The Toyota Prius, which kind of seems to be the leader of the hybrids, that's another $25,000, but you're going to get 49 miles per gallon. All that, I mean, that's pretty good when you talk about some $30,000, $40,000 trucks that get 10, 15, your sports cars and stuff like that. The average MPG in America is about 22. So, I mean, these are definitely leading the way. Alright, so I don't really have $20,000, $25,000, even with the cash for clunkers, all that stuff, okay? So, what did I do? Well, for $4,000, you can go buy a Honda Rebel that's going to get you 60 miles per gallon. Okay, that's a cruiser, it's a great little bike. I mean, it's easy to drive. There's not any problems with it. If you want to go maybe more the crotch rocket scene, right? Like to go fast, whatever. Okay, we got the Honda Ninja 250R. That's another 60 miles per gallon, $4,000. Okay, so for 3 gallons, you can drive 180 miles, and that's going to set you back like $9. Okay, it's pretty cheap. Now let's say, some of these bikes, I will say, they only do about 89 miles an hour. Alright, so let's say you want to get a big bike, and you go extremely fast. Okay, well, the Yamaha R1 is a 1000, it's a liter bike, 1000 cc's. Okay, this is a huge bike. It does about 240 top speed. Okay, it's going to set you back $12,000, which is half of what the Honda Civic is, but you still get 35 miles per gallon. So, I mean, you're doing, gosh, like 3 times what the Honda Civic is. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie, if I'm driving a Honda Civic versus an R1 Superbike, the sex appeal definitely is gonna play into that factor. Okay, so so now that we've talked about the dollar and cents, let's go ahead and transition over to just the benefits that you can't necessarily put a price tag on. Okay, I'm a college student. I live in a college town. I live off campus, so I'm trying to drive to campus every day. I got this off-campus parking spot. It takes forever to walk. I gotta ride the bus, right? Well, I bought a motorcycle. Completely eliminate that. Okay, I can pretty much park anywhere where you can fit a bicycle. Anywhere there's little dead spots in the parking lot or whatever, I can just zoom right in and I'm good to go. So what used to take me, a 10-15 minute drive, plus I'd either got to walk another 15 minutes or I got to wait for the bus or whatever. Now I can do that in the original 15 minutes. I'll pull right to my class and I'm out. And for me, I'm not necessarily like a leave early and do all this stuff, so for me it's great. Jump off, run into class, and I'm there in like 2 minutes before the bell. So it works great. Another great advantage would be, low insurance. I have a truck, and a V8 truck, and insurance is crazy on it, full coverage, whatever. On my, I have a R6, 600cc crotch rocket, so I mean, definitely it's cheaper with the cruisers. But I'm on a crotch rocket and it's like $35 a month, so for liability. And I mean, you can get full coverage, but that's something that how much are you really totaling out on a motorcycle that only costs $4,000 or $5,000? So, and parts are extremely cheap. I mean, there's just not much to it. Maintenance isn't that bad. I mean, there's just not a lot of working parts to it, and there's not a lot of stuff on it. So that's where you're getting your low cost for parts, your low insurance, your low or your high fuel mileage. So I mean, all that really plays in really well to each other. And another benefit, I mean, yeah, that's great. While riding alone, you can park great, and you're saving your money and stuff like that. But what I think is really cool, and it's really had a personal note in my life, is the camaraderie and the riding groups that you can be a part of once you're on a motorcycle. Obviously, you need to own a bike to be in a bike club. It's pretty common sense, but one of my favorite groups was the Patriot Guard. And when I came back from Iraq in 2006, on our way back, we stopped about an hour outside of where we were getting ready to have our ceremony, and they have a bike group. It's called the Patriot Guard. And we were on these big buses or whatever, and we met them there, and then they do that. They escort all the National Guard groups that come back into my state, and they have chapters all over the place. And so that really meant a lot, just that these people, there a bunch of them are vets and stuff like that, but that these people would, and they ride day or night, rain or shine. We had a group that came back in January one time, and they were out in Missouri, and so it wasn't warm at all, but they bundled up and they do it, so that's really cool. And then a few months later, after I got back, we had a funeral in my hometown for a fallen vet, and we had a protest group that was going to come and protest it. And so they showed back up, and they formed the Human Wall, and so that's something that really meant a big part of my life, and that I definitely want to do when I get older, is be part of the Patriot group. And so I think that it's really cool that the bikers might have this hard name, and like Hell's Angels and all these other biker groups, and they do drugs and sell drugs and they fight and stuff like that. But I mean, there's plenty of Harley Davidson chapters, or even crotch rocket chapters, or just all these different bikers that people come together, they ride bikes, and then they ride for child abuse, cancer awareness, fallen vets, and pretty much any organization that you would find anywhere else. You could put a bunch of guys, or women, or everybody that rides bikes, put them together, and they go out and have a good time for it. So I think it's definitely a neat thing, and I plan on riding the rest of my life, and so it's definitely it's definitely cool to find other people that share your interest in riding motorcycles, and then you can that'll spill over into other things. So definitely, I'm a big fan of motorcycles. I've been riding 3 or 4 years. I love it. I wouldn't give it up for anything. And just like I told you, you're going to save a lot of money in fuel. You're going to save a lot of time and a lot of hassle, especially if you live in a big city with parking and stuff like that. And it's just a camaraderie that you're going to find, with any small group. There's car groups, you can join all kinds of clubs and stuff like that. But I love, riding bikes, and so when I can find other people that like doing the same thing and that we want to go out for the same cause is awesome. So thank you for your time.